Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
And on today's show, we have a special guest from Ball Horticulture, Jason Twadell.
Jason is the sales and marketing manager for Ball, Flora plant and Selecta here in North America.
We're going to discuss plant breeding and how new plants get to market. And he and I will share a special story about how Jason and I got connected.
We're also going to talk about what's hot and happening in the perennial department.
We're also going to discuss hydrangeas and how to grow them to be the envy of the neighborhood.
In our last segment, Mimi called the hotline and has a question about tomatoes.
So stay tuned and we'll be right back after this short break. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Does your garden have planting insurance? It can now with Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma. It's the ultimate starter plant food. The secret is a special blend of natural organic plant food, beneficial microbes, and mycorrhizal fungi. The result? Plants grow faster, roots grow deeper, flowers and vegetables flourish. Best of all, every Espoma product is safe for people, pets, and the planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you. Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
The first person to survive Alzheimer's disease is out there. They might even be listening to this right now. Maybe they're waiting for the traffic light to change. Maybe they're daydreaming about a trip they've planned with their family. Maybe they're in a toddler seat, strapped in, and wondering if they're almost home. That first survivor is out there, and they're going to hold on to everything the disease steals away. And the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen by funding research, advancing public policy, and spurring scientific breakthroughs, and by providing local support right now to those living with the disease and their caregivers, we're easing the burden for all those facing it until we accomplish our goal. Alzheimer's disease has devastated millions of lives, but that's all going to change when we reach the first survivor. But we won't get there without you. Visit alz.org to join the fight.
We are back, and on the line we have Jason Twadell from Ball Horticultural. Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, you have a long title, and you have a lot of responsibility. Ball has grown, I guess, gosh, I've been in this business for 30 years plus, and I remember Ball was, it was Ball. It was pretty simple. Now, international, the different companies that it represents. If you can, tell me what you do and tell me a little bit about Ball.
Yeah, so I'll start off by talking a little bit about the company itself. Ball Horticultural Company is based in West Chicago. It's a very large company in not just the North American market, but worldwide. And one of the parts that everybody in our industry, at least the greenhouse growers that we service, one of the biggest part that they know is the distribution company or the broker company. So we have 65 or so Ball seed sales reps out in the field, and those reps have responsibilities in their territory, to call on and work with the growers in the industry that bring those plants that you guys talk about every week on your show. They bring those plants to market. So, but then the other part that Ball has is we've got different breeding companies, and I work for one of those breeding companies. So I work for Ball Flora Plant, and we're a vegetative breeding company, and that is to say that the products that we bring to market are flowering annuals that are produced vegetatively. So we breed and develop those flowers, and we have a farm in Nicaragua as well as a farm in Guatemala where we produce the stock plants and the cuttings, and those get shipped into the North American market to the growers who put roots on them and start the plants that way.
It's an amazing thing to see. Julio and I were fortunate enough to be at one of your growers when a shipment, it was just a pallet of boxes came in that were all of the cuttings that were going to be rooted. And did we figure 100,000 plants were on that pallet or something crazy like that?
Big.
It's amazing to think that from Nicaragua to southern New Jersey or throughout the country, it doesn't matter, where those cuttings are turning into the beautiful plants that we put on our benches. I want all of our listeners to understand the plants that you get today aren't a seed that's dropped in some soil and then it comes out. Some of them are, but most of them are from herbaceous cuttings. So they're plants that are the clone of the original plant. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, that's accurate. And, I would say that a lot of the products that are in the market are seed-borne or seed-raised. But we have a huge number that are vegetative. The vegetative part of it really got started, 20 years ago or maybe even more, maybe before my time, really, before I got into the industry. But, things like geraniums and New Guinea impatiens and stuff like that started coming to the market. And a lot of those products, like you said, the really big products that end up in patio containers in the landscape oftentimes are developed from vegetative cuttings.
Yeah, I'd say probably every mixed container or almost every hanging basket that you see are probably from, again, a cutting, not from seed.
Yeah, big percentage of them for sure.
Well, Julio and I snuck into, we actually went with Don Henrichs and actually my son went along with us, and we went to the ball headquarters during the IGC show last summer. And the headquarters was closed, but we snuck in the gardens and probably spent about 2 hours wandering around there. It was
the best time we've had.
It was. It was the height of. It was the first day, but it was the height of our experience.
Unbelievable.
It's just incredible of just the new things that are on the horizon, and what you guys already do. Now, like your specific division, give me the names of some of the plants that we might be familiar with.
Well, let's start off with the biggest class that there is now on the vegetative side, and that's Calibrachoa. So you see the Calibrachoas out there all over the place now, in hanging baskets and combinations. And for us, the best-selling series at Ball Floor Plan is Cabaret. That's the name of the series. That's our medium vigor spec. And then on the Selecta side, it's Mini Famous. Okay. So Mini Famous is kind of I would say it's one of the biggest brands in terms of vegetative annuals. Selecta bred and developed those products many years ago, and we just continue to update and evolve those products and bring new ones to the marketplace. You've probably seen the double Calibrachoas,
sure,
that Selecta has, and so they're the only ones that have those in the U.S. market.
And your job is to work directly with the growers, not necessarily with the retail side. It trickles down to us, and I can remember having to learn all of the new names. I mean, again, it was geraniums and New Guinea impatiens, and those were the plants that we were selling. And then all of a sudden, it was Calibrachoa and it's Petcoa and all of these other names that it was like, what the heck are these things? But boy, have they increased the palette that we get to choose from when putting containers together.
Yeah, we as a company, we work closely with the growers, right? So that's our customer is to work with somebody that you're familiar with, like a Lucas Greenhouses in South New Jersey. We work with those guys. We try to help them find solutions for their particular product assortment, whether they need a better red geranium or bicolored Calibrachoa or whatever the case may be. So we work with the growers, and then we also do work with retailers. We work not as much with the end consumer as we do with the production side of things, but that's really where we kind of fit in. We supply the growers that supply the end user.
We look at it that we're the conduit between the grower and I'm using an old term, seed house, but the actual like ball to the end consumer. Because we have to, and this is no offense to our listener, but we do have to dumb it down because some of it is very, like you say, it's a vegetative cutting to somebody. They're like, what? Yeah, it's a better plan. They get that, and they get a clone. They understand a clone, and that we're trying to always let people know that the amount of work that goes into a new plant, and it's tremendous, and the science that's behind it, it deserves more respect. Yeah. Because when you guys come up with a new plant, I mean, it's kind of like a mad scientist kind of thing. Do you specifically go out that I want to have a brighter color pink or a double color pink, or is it something that you just happen upon? Like in the old days, most plants were just discovered, where now you guys go out with a mission.
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and it can be a little bit of both, I guess. But our breeding and product development teams who bring these products to market, they'll have specific objectives that they're trying to achieve, right? So they might be trying to find something that has superior weather tolerance or rain tolerance, or a New Guinea patient that can handle full sun, right? Like sun patients. Right. That was a really amazing breeding breakthrough that a breeder called Cicada, they came up with that particular product. So things like that. Can I
interrupt real quick? So a sun patient and a New Guinean patient are different, or is it just branding?
No, it's a different product. It's a New Guinea patient wouldn't be able to withstand full sun conditions, and the sun patient has very similar look to a New Guinea patient. That you can almost not really tell the difference between them at times on the bench, but the performance in the garden is completely different.
Okay, because it's
things like that.
That name has gotten out there. Our customers are asking for sun patients. Yes. So
yeah, everybody is, honestly. I mean, we produce sun patients at our farm in Nicaragua because it's just a huge demand for the product itself. It's a fantastic product, and our breeding team at Ball Flora Plant and the breeding team at Selecta, they have very specific objectives. That they're trying to to go after, and sometimes we happen upon products and particular varieties that are very interesting, but there's just a ton of traditional breeding and crossing of different lines to try to get to where we want to be. And I'm no breeder, so I shouldn't probably speak too much to it, because those guys are really, really good at what they do. But it's a long process. It might be 7 years from the time the first cross is made to the time we can actually bring a product to market.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, we've got to take a break, and that when we come back, we'll spend some more time, and that we're actually going to talk a little bit more about those many famous calibrachoas. Yeah. So we'll be right back after this. Are you tired of all the time you spend working on your lawn and landscape just to have grubs come in and start eating it from the roots up, leaving behind dead patches in your lawn or your flowers wilting everywhere? Let's not forget the skunks that tear up your lawn, or the moles that come tunneling through, eating the grubs, leaving mounds everywhere. Bonite's annual grub beater is the answer to your problem. Apply Grub Beater now and have a grub-free lawn and landscape into the fall season with one easy application. Bonite's annual Grub Beater is not just for grubs. It will control chinch bugs, bill bugs, and a long list of many other insects. Bonite products are family made in America. Grub Beater is available at these fine stores: Spots Hardware, Medford, New Jersey; Haynes Farm and Garden, Cinnaminson, New Jersey; Rourke's Farm Supply, Elmer, New Jersey. Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB, and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com. Spring has sprung, and it's time to visit Bloomer's Home and Garden Center. Bring us a soil sample, and we'll test your soil's pH free. Heck, bring us a water sample from your pond, too, and we'll test that for ammonia and other critical levels. Did you know that Bloomer's has a pond department? We have all of the water treatments, fish, and plants to keep your pond looking glorious year-round. Are you looking for that 4-step lawn program? Bloomers carries Scott's, Jonathan Green, Bonide, and Espoma's Organic Step program. Need to seed? Bloomers has its own blend of seed called Township Turf. It's just the right balance of rye, fescue, and bluegrass to give you a spectacular lawn. It's also perfect for repairing bare spots and matches extraordinarily well to sodded lawns. Don't forget the garden. Bloomers carries bumper crop soil amendment and all the fertilizers a garden could need, both organic and inorganic. The best vegetables start as seedlings from Bloomers. Come visit those who know the friendly folks at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey, just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. For directions and information, visit www.bloomers.com. That's www.bloomers.com. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, we're back in the garden with Jason from Flora Plant and Selecta here in North America. He is the sales and marketing manager. Jason, you and I got together through Lucas Greenhouses because we were using one of your combos, and it's part of the Trixie series, and it has the perfect name. It's purple with a purpose, and it is the Calibraco Mini Famous. It's, dark blue. It's also light blue and white, and it's perfect for a fundraiser we're doing for Alzheimer's Association. Just quick to, what we're doing is that for any of the 6-inch pots sold, we're donating $1 to the Alzheimer's Association, and then we have a group of 12-inch hanging baskets where we're donating $5, and then on the longest day, which is the 21st, for that fundraiser, we're donating all the proceeds for that, anything that's sold that day, that is going to the Alzheimer's Association. But it turns out that there wasn't a purpose behind that name, but it has the perfect name for us.
Yep.
And when we talked, we started talking about how plants get their names, where you're saying it kind of like just sitting around trying to figure it out. Like, let's call it this. Okay. Is that right?
Yeah. So as far as naming goes, there's a lot of different ways that we kind of try to tackle naming our new varieties. But a big part of it is just kind of brainstorming with our creative team and our marketing team.
Oh, that's that's funny, because who gets more control, the marketing or the guys that actually put the plant together? And do you guys ever get in a fight? I'd imagine.
Yeah,
it's like, no, don't call it that. That's
yeah.
my baby.
No,
That's right.
It can get emotional for sure. There's those that breed and develop the product, they they have their opinions on how it should be named, and lots of times they'll have a working name that they're using as they go through product development. And like I mentioned earlier, it might take 7 years to get a product to market, and by then we've kind of become attached to certain names, and as we're working through it. But there's things we try to do with naming. Oftentimes it's trying to just be descriptive and maybe even add some sort of differentiator to the name to kind of describe what that product does. So if it's a product that has really good heat tolerance, we might try to call that out of the name. Something like a flamethrower coleus. It's a coleus series that we have at Flora Plant. We want to speak to that in the name and give it a bit of a description.
Right. And the name counts. I mean, at the retail level, things like concoleus, those are remembered, and certainly sun patients, they caught on fast.
Quick.
They caught on really fast. And that
wave petunias, things like that are actually brands. This is a series of seed petunias that it's a brand name because it's such a good product, and that name catches and sticks.
We jumped on that wave band when I still have some of the old POP. Old POP, when it was known as the purple wave. It didn't even have other colors. That it just was one color, but it's a fantastic plant. At the store level, we tell people, if you're going to plant petunias and you want to ground cover petunias, just to plant those in the ground, and they certainly can be used in a pot. Now, I didn't even know, that's a Ball product, right?
Yeah. It's Pan American Seed is our seed division. So that's their product.
It's incredible how many different divisions that what is actually, like, for instance, I was reading through some of the things last night, and I saw where star plants are under the Ball umbrella, which is not too far from here, outside of Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Is it West Grove, Pennsylvania?
yeah, exactly. West Grove, Pennsylvania.
How about that?
And that's Star Roses.
Wow.
Now
Yep.
they have that new it's a new series, I guess. That's a marketing thing with the new types of fruiting dwarf fruits plants, dwarf raspberries, dwarf blueberries, things like that. But now they're an independent entity, or are they like what is actually owned by Ball?
Well, as far as I know, the Star Roses and plants is part of the Ball family now.
Okay.
We acquired that company, and
Wow.
that was a couple of years ago. So they're
Okay.
again one of our business units. They're more on that woody ornamental side.
It is big
we've
business. It's big
Yeah.
business. This isn't just
Yeah, it
like
is, and
it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
incredible.
and it's we've got a perennial division. Darwin Perennials is the name of that company, and,
Yep.
and like I said, the vegetative, and then as well as the seed types. So plus vegetables, burpee.
Yeah, burpee.
Burpee Home and Garden, at least the products that we're marketing under that name and to our growers. It's part of the Ball family. So
Burpee is another big giant. I mean, I go back to the seed packets that we used to sell back in the 70s.
all
It
it
was
was.
Burpee. You had your Burpee rack of seeds.
That's right.
But
yeah, and I believe that part of it is separate from Ball.
Right.
But we use the Burpee brand as part of our brand for the vegetables that we bring to market to our customers.
what is a plant that we should look for next year that you think has got some real excitement to bring to the consumer?
Well, just outside of my front porch here, I've got some calabacoas that we developed for Ball Flora plant for the 2020 season. And the name of the one that I've got up there is Cabaret Goodnight Kiss. And it's a 3-colored calabacoa. It's got a yellow star in the center, but it's got kind of a purple outside with a very deep purple dark center. So it's a true novelty, but it's a really good plant, and it's one that we're really excited about from Ball Flora plant. And then another one that we're really excited about is the Color Rush petunias, which is a big, vigorous landscape type petunia from Ball Flora plant. And the white one.
What was the name of that again?
The series is called Color Rush.
Color Rush. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the white one is I think the best of the new intros that we have. We have 7 colors now total within that series, but the white is a really strong, clean white, excellent garden performer, landscape type of petunia.
Yeah, I always tell our customers when you're putting together your landscape or your bedding plants, don't forget about white, because white makes all of the other colors pop. You have to have a good white to make everything.
And it even gives you a little color at night.
That's right.
The sun's going down.
That's right. Wow. It's incredible to keep up with the science that goes on, and I just want to thank you for coming on with us. It's just all of our listeners. I just want you to understand that the plant science that goes behind it. It is. There are several companies that are on the cutting edge, and Ball is probably. They've got to be the best. They've got to be number one. Like that whole Trixie series. The Trixie series, like the variety that we're using for the fundraiser is nice, but there are other ones that are anybody that hasn't gotten their combo pot yet. The Trixie series is like just grab a 12-inch pot, fill it with some soil, and dump that 6-inch, and then all of a sudden instant combo pot, because it's I guess it's a design that you guys come up with where it's several different colors and stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can't think of the name of the pink, but it's got it's mostly pinks. I know that there's an incredible verbena that's in there. It's just amazing. It is.
Yeah, we have for Ball Flora plant and Selecta lineup, we have different mix programs. So the Trixie program is part of Selecta, and then Ball Flora plant has the same concept, but it's called Mix Masters.
There you go.
And it's where we put these combination of plants together, trial them to ensure that those guys are going to work together. And that gives the grower an easy option for a combination mixed container that they can bring to market. And the team, I didn't really talk much about Selecta as a company, but they're actually a company based in Germany, a breeder and developer of flowering plants, just like we do for Ball Flora Plant. But we exclusively distribute and market their products in North America. So we work very closely with the team in Germany.
That explains why when I was looking for POP, it was in German.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And they're world-class
Germany.
breeders.
Germany.
Yeah. Our producer, Brett, we always highlight the fact that we're both German. Anyway, but,
There you go.
I'll tell you, they are stunning, and that it makes it easier for the consumer. And we want people that there is no such thing as a brown thumb or a green thumb or black thumb. There's just people that try, and that this is one of the series that makes people successful. Yeah. Just add water, a little bit of fertilizer, and bam, it's in. It's in. And you can play catch up real easy. Like if your neighbor's got their pot may be overgrown by now and their centers may be missing out of it, but if you put one of these in, it's going to be beautiful all summer long.
Yeah, and the beauty of those 6-inch pots is they get to see them fill out and size up over the course of the summer. So that's always it's nice to have that accomplishment as you see things grow.
All right. I want everybody to go out there this weekend, look for the Trixie series at your local garden centers and try it. Try it in a even if you try it in a pot that's just laying around that you're just going to try something. It's cheap enough. I mean, we sell them. If you get enough of them, they go down in price as low as $6. For one, you're going to pay about $10, but a combo pot is going to be anywhere between $30 and $60. So you can do that same thing, and you can grow it basically by just popping that combo in, and it's going to grow. It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Great.
So, Jason, we're running out of time, so I want to thank you very much for coming on. I want to thank you for all the work that you do, especially the entire organization. It is keeping people excited about plants, and that's what we want.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on and supporting our products and supporting the homeowner out there that's trying to succeed with our products. We need to do everything we can to help educate and help people succeed with plants, because it just adds such an important part of people's lives if they can color the world with really good looking product and they can be successful with it.
And they can. Julio and I call ourselves translators. Like we go and we'll make it so that you can understand it, so the homeowner can understand it. But it's just incredible the science that goes behind it. So again, if there's any time that you have something that you want to launch or announce, you just get in touch with me, and you know how. It's especially, I tell you what, I'm going to be looking for those Color Rush Goodnight Kiss, those Calibracoa rather, Cabaret Goodnight Kiss. Yep. They sound wild.
Oh yeah, you need a good night kiss.
Yeah, really, I could use one. Anyway, but I'll tell you what, I'm trying to get out to. I still call it the Ohio Short Course, but that's where all the new plants are introduced. Oh, it is
amazing.
It is incredible going out there because it's just things you would never say.
Only about a month away.
I know it. I know it.
It's coming on soon.
I know the hotels are always sold out.
Yeah.
All right,
you got to
Jason.
book that early.
Yeah, right. All right, Jason, thank you again for coming on with us. And then we're going to be right back in the garden after this.
Stay tuned for the Bloomers Garden Minute. The Garden Minute is brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Philadelphia Garden Radio. Find us on the radio dial or on the web at bloomers.com.
This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden with the Garden Minute. Wow, what a great time to be a gardener. You can plant anything right now. Vegetables, flowers, roses, trees, shrubs, and perennials. The possibilities are endless. No matter what you plant, you need to do these 3 things to ensure success. 1, make sure you're adding soil amendment when you're planting. Bumper crop is our top choice, but even if it's just cow manure or peat moss, you only get one shot at improving the soil right at the root of your plants, so don't pass it up. 2, after planting, apply a granular type fertilizer made specifically for your type of plant. Evergreens, flowers, and vegetables all have specific dietary needs. Don't worry, if you're not sure what to get, your local garden center will help you match the right fertilizer to the right plant. A granular fertilizer will give your new plants a consistent feeding of nutrients. Think of it as 3 square meals for your plants that you reapply once every 4 to 6 weeks. 3. Use a water-soluble fertilizer every 2 weeks. That's the kind you water your plants with. You know the stuff, the kind that tints your water blue. I recommend Jack's Classic, but others are available. Miracle-Gro just came out with an organic water-soluble fertilizer. When using water-soluble fertilizers, they're immediately available to your plants. Think of it as those vitamins you take. It's an extra boost supplementing a regular diet. And for heaven's sake, buy one of those feeders so all you have to do is attach it to your garden hose and go. No mixing, no blue fingers. But remember, those feeders are only calibrated for water-soluble fertilizer. They are not calibrated to spray insects or disease control. This is Len Schroeder for the Garden Minute, and we'll see you in the garden.
Today's Garden Minute was brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Also brought to you by VPG, the Fertilome people.
Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, we're back on. Julio and I are talking about the mad plant scientist.
That's right.
7 years to get a plant to market.
Wow.
That's dedication.
It is dedication.
That's dedication.
Yes.
Well,
Patience and dedication.
Julio, what's going on in the perennial department? Things are hopping.
Oh, they are hopping right now, aren't
my
they?
gosh.
We got some beautiful perennials out there.
What do you see that's looking good?
Oh, everything.
Now, come on.
All right.
I'll tell you.
No, go
Delphinium,
ahead.
my favorite.
Oh, I know.
The Delphinium, they're not around for that long.
No, they're
and
not.
again, the way that perennials are sold, how long should you plant your perennial garden? So if I decide I'm going to put in a perennial garden, should I plant it all at once?
No.
Good answer.
No.
Right.
No.
Why?
Well, you want to extend the season, so you want to start early in spring with early spring flowering.
Because they flower
perennials.
then.
That's right.
Because people generally don't buy things that are green.
Right.
Again, they're buying a promise a lot of times when they're buying things that are green.
Right.
Like Delphinium were not available in March.
No, they weren't.
But man, they are available
they're
right
available.
now.
Oh, yes.
They look awesome.
They do.
They're Becky, are you listening? Becky took some home. Did you see? She did.
She did, right?
So Becky is our water garden area specialist. If you
Wonderful.
come in and you have a water garden question,
Right.
see Becky.
That's right.
Anyway, with the Delphinium, just to me, they're my favorite. And do you know what that little center of the flower is called? That's a different color. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's white.
Center. No, I don't. What
It's
is
called
it?
a bee.
The bee.
The bee. The bee is white, or the bee, because it kind of, if you look at it, it looks like a bee.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, hollyhocks.
Oh,
Hollyhocks.
my favorite. That's
Are
my
they?
favorite. Oh, yes. When I was
Incredible.
a child,
Yes,
one of my first plants.
was a hollyhock.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
Coneflower, finally out, folks.
Yes.
If
there you
you've
go.
been buying coneflower, you've been buying stuff that's been really pushed hard. We have like every variety you could think of. So things are looking butterfly weed.
Oh, butterfly weed. Yes.
Get it while it's there because it
That's
doesn't last long.
No, it doesn't.
That butterfly weed is an example of why we do not guarantee our perennials.
Right.
It's a tough perennial to get to come back.
It is.
But it is in high demand.
Big.
Yep. Yep.
Big.
All of again, daylilies. Daylilies are looking like the gangbusters.
Beautiful.
And incredible colors.
Oh, yeah.
That Salome Double Classic.
Oh,
that's
I like
nice.
that one, yeah.
That's nice. That's
great.
nice. I may be bringing some of those home.
Oh, yeah.
But now is the time to plant perennials. But you don't want to plant all of your perennials, okay? You want to plant your perennial garden throughout the year. You want to plant them really starting in, say, March. And then ending sometime in late August. Because late August, you'll get some of those Gloriosa daisies and things like that. That's type of rudbeckia, but a different variety. It's not a black-eyed Susan. Right. Speaking of which, those black-eyed Susans that we have in 3-gallon pots, they're like giant. They're like the size of azaleas. They're gigantic.
They are. Hormone. They put hormones in there.
No, they do not put hormones.
Oh my gosh, they're like,
misinformation. Fake news.
Fake news.
We've got another break coming up, and then after that, we're going to be talking about our favorite shrub. I think hydrangeas.
I think so.
Yep, we'll be back right after this.
Introducing Miracle-Gro's next big thing, Performance Organics. Finally, organics that work. Tested and refined by plant scientists for twice the results. Guaranteed. Don't grow a snack. Grow a feast. Don't grow a flower. Grow $1 million view. This new organic collection of soil and plant food is what you've always wanted. No compromise. Just results. Guaranteed. Miracle-Gro Performance Organics.
Are you tired of pulling those persistent, unwanted weeds that continue to grow through the cracks in your sidewalk and patio, or even in your favorite flower and shrubbery bed? I have the answer. Bonide Cleanup Weed and Grass Killer. Cleanup Weed and Grass Killer kills all unwanted weeds, grasses, and other plants to the root. The systemic action ensures that the unwanted plants do not regrow. Results can be seen in as little as a few days. Cleanup is great for preparing flower beds and vegetable gardens for planting. By eliminating the weeds, your vegetables and flowers will get off to a better start. If you're thinking about renovating that weed-infested lawn area and starting all over again, Cleanup will kill all that you spray on it. Wait 7 days and reseed your lawn to get that picture-perfect lawn you have always wanted. Bonide products are family-made in America. Bonide Cleanup can be found at these fine retailers: Nestle Feed and Hardware, Morgantown, PA; Primex Garden Center, Glenside, PA; Harleysville Feed, Harleysville, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
All right, Len, we are back. And hydrangeas. Let me tell you what. I love my hydrangea.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them.
Do you know the varieties?
Yes.
What are they?
Mine is an oak leaf hydrangea. I've had it for 3 years. It is about 5.5 foot tall.
Okay.
And you should see those flowers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're like 6 inches long.
Wow.
By 4 inches wide.
When does it flower?
It is flowering right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wonderful.
And it's called an oak leaf hydrangea because?
The oak leaves. I mean, the leaves look like oaks. Oak leaf.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it.
Right. Okay. And that we're going to talk about, before we get into the varieties of hydrangea, let's talk about their flowering.
Right.
They flower, for the most part, on old wood. Some of the new varieties that talk about them being ever-blooming hydrangeas, they will flower on new wood. So what the heck is all this talk about wood? New. All right. Old wood means that it's the growth that is left over the winter from last year. So it is basically old wood.
Old wood, yeah.
New wood is the new growth that forms from the hydrangea. Now, those of you that can't seem to get your hydrangea to bloom, leave the stinking thing alone, okay? Stop cutting it back. Don't do anything. The older varieties all had to bloom on their old wood. So if you went and you cut it back at the wrong time, you were cutting off all of the old wood and therefore all of the flowers. Don't do that.
Nope.
Don't do that. Because, again, it's all about the older varieties. And, again, we had our caller that's we're going to talk to in a little bit, Mimi. When I spoke with her, she was talking about the fact that her hydrangeas weren't blooming that she had, and it was because she said they were cut back in the fall. She said, "I see the landscapers cutting them back. Don't assume landscapers know what they're doing."
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
That leave the plants alone. They may look twiggy and sticky and not that nice, but they're going to set bud and flower.
Now, if there's one plant that you don't want to really touch and prune too much,
Yep.
this is the one.
Right.
Right?
Right. It's almost like there's certain rules where an azalea, for instance, like if your azalea is done blooming, you need to cut it right away and shear it now. You don't want to shear it too late because then you do the same thing. You're cutting off all of the flowers for next year. So, again, older style hydrangeas, leave them alone. If they need to be cut back, you can trim them back a little bit after they're done blooming. Don't think of it as part of a maintenance ritual that they need to be they need to be cut back.
Yeah, that's right.
And again, if there's other types where the thing about like the endless summer hydrangeas, there's a bunch of them now. There's endless summers,
tons
our rebloomer. There's a bunch of new ones out, and they're kind of knockoffs of one another that they can bloom on their new wood. And you need to do a little bit of research. Check the tags. If it blooms on its new wood, then it's a little bit easier to maintain. You can shear it.
Right.
I still don't recommend shearing it in the fall, but shearing it after it's done its initial bloom and to trim it up if it needs it. Otherwise, just leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it alone. Yeah,
Leave it alone.
That's the best thing too.
Only shear it to shape it.
Yeah.
When you see the buds begin to swell in the spring, and you've got some of those twigs that aren't pushing anything, and you're pretty sure that they're dead, you can go ahead and clean them out.
Yeah.
But don't cut it. Avoid cutting it back.
Yes.
Only if you get to the point you may have to wait 2 years for it to bloom if you cut it back, because what happens is it pushes out that growth. That growth is new wood, and it doesn't harden off until the following year. So you've got almost 2 years to wait.
Oh boy,
that stinks.
Leave it alone.
Yep.
Right, Len?
Yep. Now you have what is the variety that you have right in front of you? We have, by the way, on YouTube, we have a hydrangea in the studio with us, and it is a lace cap.
Lace cap, right? It's a macrophylla, by the way.
Okay, and that's that traditional mop head, but yet this one has a flower that is lace cap.
Lace cap, the flowers are around. The center is all like little buds.
Yep, and it'll eventually open up more. But it opens up differently. So what's the variety?
This is called a cherry explosion hydrangea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds good enough to eat.
Yeah, it does.
Well, that's one definitely to try. But go out to your garden centers this weekend. There are plenty of, you don't find many white hydrangeas usually. There's some white hydrangeas at Bloomers right now that we just got that are gorgeous. That are just stunning.
My goodness. And blue ones. Oh, the blue ones.
Yeah, the blue ones are intense. And that they've gone anywhere from blue to purple. And remember, you want to get them blue, you put down aluminum sulfate.
Right.
Brand name Hydra Blue. You'll see different names for it, but just look at the ingredient is aluminum sulfate.
Right.
It's
what's that do, Len?
Micronutrient. What it does is it changes the pH to be a little more acidic,
right?
And that it will make your plant blue. If you want it pink, you're going to use maybe some calcium. The Jonathan Green product, right?
Yes,
right. That will work
Magic
too.
Magical.
Magical will work. So again, stop in your garden center this week. You can find yourself a really nice hydrangea, but keep it watered. They like to get a lot of water, and they will grow in the shade.
They will.
And the sun.
And the sun, yep. Needs a
Don't
little bit of
water
sun.
them. Don't water them in the middle of the day. That's all I can tell you.
There you go.
All right. All right. We've got to take a break, and we'll be back right after this.
On June 21st, the summer solstice, the sound of light is...
4!
And... Strike! Woo! And...
On your left!
Because on the longest day, the day with the most light, you can join the Alzheimer's Association in fighting the darkness of Alzheimer's through participating in an activity of your choice. You'll help raise funds and awareness and advance care, support, and research as we get closer to our ultimate goal, the first survivor of Alzheimer's. So join us and garden, scrapbook, or play cards. Whatever you choose to do on the longest day, because the day with the most light is the day we fight. Select an activity at alz.org/thelongestday.
Tired of pale green, weedy results from four-step lawn programs? That's because they don't do anything for the soil. The New American Lawn four-step program feeds the lawn and the soil. Magical Plus, a unique soil food that adjusts soil pH, loosens hard soil, and feeds soil microbes, is the key difference. Without the right soil conditions, you'll never enjoy a great lawn. Competitive programs simply don't match up. So feed your lawn and your soil with the New American Lawn four-step program by Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green products can be found at these fine stores: Action Hardware, Wilmington, Delaware; Hockessin Hardware, Hockessin, Delaware; Gasper's Garden Center, Richboro, Pennsylvania.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
We are back in the garden, and a listener called. Her name is Mimi, and with a question about her tomatoes. Listen.
Hi, this is Mimi Haggerty, and I'm calling regarding tomatoes. My tomatoes are going great guns, but I'm not sure whether I should be cutting off the leaves that are closest to the soil, the bottom leaves, and make a fine stem, or should I leave all the leaves hanging on the tomato plant? Please let me know. Thank you. Bye.
Well, Mimi has some problems with tomatoes.
Right.
And it's not really a problem.
Mm-hmm.
She was concerned that the plant was growing so big that the green leaves on the bottom should be taken off because she's kind of used to those disappearing. Now, and what happened is we've had so much rain, and it's been such great growing conditions that those leaves are all producing food.
Beautiful.
We've had the right timing for sun. We've had the right timing for rain. So they're still producing food for the plant. So leave them alone.
Leave them alone, yeah.
Leave them alone.
They're doing great.
Leave them alone.
Mm-hmm. Don't even touch it.
She probably has an indeterminate variety of tomato. And that is, Julio?
Indeterminate is they're going to keep going all season long. They're going to get a lot of tomatoes every little so often and all the way down to the frost.
Right, and keep on going, but they're always going to be kind of at the top.
Right.
Right? And then a determinate variety is like a patio tomato.
Type, yes.
Which
much
means,
smaller. You're going to be having it all at once. You know, your tomatoes are going to come out. Boom.
Right, and then they're done.
Right.
Kind of like how some of the azaleas flower, where
right.
they flower all at once. They're really
yeah.
good, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're all
Remember
green
that?
plants for the rest. Hey, azaleas are nice. But the thing with tomatoes is you got to keep an eye on too. Make sure that you don't have any blossom drop. So you can use a blossom set spray.
You can, yes.
And that
Works
works.
beautiful.
That works really well.
Really well.
But that's only if you see the actual blossoms falling off, that they don't look like they're getting pollinated. You go ahead and spray that. So just keep an eye on your plants. And you want to catch it early, because if you catch it late, I guess indeterminate varieties you can, but what you'll end up doing is you'll missing a crop. Not a big deal. Not a good deal. But I have had customers coming in with insect problems.
Oh, yes. Already.
Already.
Wow.
What we recommend is using Jack's Classic.
Yeah. Captain Jack's.
Captain Jack's. Well, you know what? I said Jack's Classic.
Yeah, Jack's Classic.
Feed it.
Feed it,
Jack's
yeah,
Classic.
might as well.
I got that mixed up. Hang on.
It's all
Feed
right.
it Jack's Classic. You want to spray for insects with Captain Jack's.
There you go, Captain. We got you.
Captain Jack's is all organic.
Yes, it is. That's why we love it.
Spinosad is it?
Spinosad, yeah.
That's the actually active ingredient.
Yes.
It was found in a distillery.
How about that?
Right? In a distillery, rum distillery.
Rum, huh?
In somewhere
drinking
in the,
away.
I guess the Caribbean.
Somewhere.
Pretty amazing.
It is, isn't it?
I haven't tasted it yet, and I don't recommend you do.
No, don't.
No, but it is again. It hasn't been found anywhere else, and so insects have not become resistant to it.
That's great.
Organic.
Yes.
It's great choice.
Yes. Great
Another
choice.
organic choice, and especially for things like, have you ever seen some of the caterpillars that get on cabbages?
Oh, yeah.
That like they're those cabbage loopers.
Yes.
They'll also get on tomatoes.
Tomatoes too. Oh boy.
They'll also get on tomatoes,
Yeah.
and that you can use diatomaceous earth.
Oh, that's great.
And diatomaceous earth can be formed in a powder and even in a spray, right?
In a spray, both. Right. Isn't that wonderful?
Kills all types of different, like soft-bodied insects.
Right.
Another thing that attacks tomatoes is potato beetle.
Oh.
Colorado potato beetle.
Not potatoes.
I hate that one. No, it starts out in the eggs. You'll look on the underside of the leaves, and they'll be bright orange.
Wow.
And then they become these little soft-bodied insects, and then they start feeding.
They suck
oh
on,
my
are they
gosh!
sucking on it?
No, they chew it. The leaves
Oh.
are gone.
Wow.
They don't bother. They just digest it. And those little porkers,
brother.
they turn into these gigantic little beetles that end up forming into these striped tan. Look nothing like they do when they're small. So get out there, check your garden. Don't worry about your leaves, Mimi. Keep them on your plant. They're all producing food.
That's right.
Once they get yellow, remove them so you don't create a disease problem.
There you go.
Sounds like things are good in your garden.
Yes, they are, huh?
All right. We've got to go to a break. We'll be right back after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Spring has sprung, and it's time to visit Bloomer's Home and Garden Center. Bring us a soil sample, and we'll test your soil's pH free. Heck, bring us a water sample from your pond, too, and we'll test that for ammonia and other critical levels. Did you know that Bloomer's has a pond department? We have all of the water treatments, fish, and plants to keep your pond looking glorious year-round. Are you looking for that 4-step lawn program? Bloomers carries Scott's, Jonathan Green, Bonide, and Espoma's Organic Step program. Need to seed? Bloomers has its own blend of seed called Township Turf. It's just the right balance of rye, fescue, and bluegrass to give you a spectacular lawn. It's also perfect for repairing bare spots and matches extraordinarily well to sodded lawns. Don't forget the garden. Bloomers carries bumper crop soil amendment and all the fertilizers a garden could need, both organic and inorganic. The best vegetables start as seedlings from Bloomers. Come visit those who know the friendly folks at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey, just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. For directions and information, visit www.bloomers.com. That's www.bloomers.com. And we'll see you in the garden.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Wow, Julio, again, school. Wouldn't it be fun to be in the guy from Ball, Jason, to have his job?
Oh, I love it.
Wouldn't that be great? Jason, if you're listening, do you know how lucky you are?
Oh, yeah.
Plant geeks like us. I mean, it's like, that's like fantasy land. I tell you, all of those new varieties, like
And they get to name them all, and they get to.
It's just trying to devise, like, people that, like, even people that do dogs, like they breed dogs. Like, sorry, I'm not a fan of what is it, the golden doodle or whatever. But still, it's that little mad scientist thing trying to develop and crossbreed plants. Like our favorite story is about Dr. Ito with the Ito peonies.
Oh, my goodness.
Where 10,000 times he tried to cross a garden peony and a tree peony. Any of you that have had a tree peony, you know that the flowers, great big flowers in different colors, not like a garden peony where you basically are getting pink and you're getting white and you're getting red.
Yeah.
So he wanted to have the real nice compact foliage of a garden with the flower of a tree peony.
Wow.
And did it, 10,000 in it, and he couldn't get it to go. Finally, he got these little plants to grow, and the poor guy died. He died. It's horrible.
Goodness.
But
Poor guy.
we have his plants now.
Right.
They're fantastic.
Oh.
Fantastic. But that's the kind of dedication that these scientists do.
They do.
And that they come up with different plants.
Right.
And people, you can call them plant geeks. That's a badge of honor.
It is.
And I mean, it is for us.
Yeah,
it
is.
It's not fighting words, that's for sure.
That's right.
It's amazing the science that's behind this. And where did he say that the plants were coming from? Ecuador, Honduras,
Guatemala, all over.
Incredible. And it's all throughout the world.
It is.
And that all of these new plants, we are in a great time.
Isn't
to
it?
be in the garden.
Yes, it is. Wonderful.
Join us here next week, here in the garden.
We'll see you in the garden.
Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB, and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com.